Right, good evening. I thought I'd do something different this time, so I'm actually at home. Afraid the light's not brilliant, but that shouldn't be too much of a problem from what I've planned. I've been through all the pictures that I took, or images that I captured during last year, i.e. 2021, and I've selected what at the present time is my favourite from each month, so that gives 12 images altogether. So I thought I'd talk you through them on the computer in Lightroom, saying why I like them, maybe a bit of the story of capturing them. So we'll see how that goes. So I'll see you on the computer shortly. Right, well here we are in Lightroom, and we see the 12 images. They're actually in reverse order. So if we go to the first one here, and this was actually taken on the 2nd of January, you can see the settings up there, 30th of the 2nd, f22, 100 ISO. Now, this lump of white rock, which is immediately in front of here, is locally known as the Bishop, and this is about a third of the way up Barf, which is one of the Wainwrights that I did, and looking out towards Keswick here. And the reason I've picked this is maybe the story about it. I decided I was going to go up Barf, and thought I'd go up by the Bishop. Was a warning, it was a steep path, but I thought I'd be okay. So I headed up to the Bishop, and it is extremely steep. And I got to the Bishop, and as I got there, as you can see, there is the sun shining. That will be Bleaberry Fell with the Helvellyn range behind. Hence the f22 to try and get the starburst effect. Now this was a handheld shot because there was nowhere to put a tripod. It was difficult enough to stop and stand still on such a steep mountain just behind the Bishop here, and captured that. So yeah, that's my favourite from January, and yeah, it's a bit different. It's not the best ever of pictures, but it's one of my favourites. So that's January. Right, as we now move on to February. Now this was taken on the 21st of February. As we can see, there was the use of a 6-stop ND filter to try and get the motion of the water that I wanted. So because that produced an 1/8 of a second at f11, again at 100 ISO. And as with most of my pictures, this was taken on a tripod. And this is, I'm not quite sure exactly what I was doing this day, but this is, I've gone up Waller Crag, and I can't remember whether I was heading to Ashness Bridge or possibly up to Bleaberry Fell, but that's Bleaberry Fell that you can see in the background. The path is behind that tree, but seeing the tree, I've come down to the beck to capture the tree and this small waterfall, and I think it really makes a really nice composition. Unfortunately the light is not brilliant, you can see the sky is a bit grey, etc. But I still think it makes a nice composition. The idea was to get low so all the branches of the tree are in the sky, and there is no intersection between the branches and either Bleaberry Fell or the path here, that they're all in the sky. So that's February. And now we'll move on to March. Right, now this was an interesting day. I set off basically to just do one Wainwright, which was Caldbeck Fell. So I went round to Monkgrisdale and past Monkgrisdale to park and to go up Caldbeck Fell, and I thought it was going to be a fairly difficult day. I mean, it was misty, it was foggy, I parked in the mist, etc. But when I got up, probably about 4/5 of the way up Caldbeck Fell, I came through the cloud, and there was this magnificent cloud inversion looking east. I did take a picture looking east. You go across, you could see the Pennines, but everything in between was totally the cloud inversion. It was really stunning. But looking approximately north from Caldbeck Fell is Caldbeck Common TV mast, which is the main mast in the area, and apparently this mast is over 1,000 feet tall from the ground, and it's on relatively high ground anyway, but you could just see, if I zoom in a little bit there, you can just see the mast poking up the cloud, and I just really found it really interesting, and I couldn't resist trying to take this picture. We are zoomed in on the on here to try and see it slightly better, but and I can't remember, I have a feeling it may have even been handheld, but as you can see, it was a 4,000th of a second at f4 ISO 100. A fairly, well, for this lens it's fully wide open, but in a sense all I wanted in focus was the actual mast, so I wasn't bothered about depth of field, and it was very bright. I mean, obviously where I parked was a bit dull because it was in mist and fog, but above the cloud it was very sunny, hence the 4,000th of a second, and I have a feeling, if I remember rightly, I took this handheld. So to me it makes it, I like the picture, whether anybody else does, but in a sense we should be taking in part pictures for ourselves. So that's March, and then we'll move on to April. Right, still zoomed in there, so we'll just zoom back out. So this was April, this was 6th of April. Been an accountant in a past life, that's the start of the new tax year. And this was a sunset. Living in Keswick, it's not very far to the Castlerigg stone circle, which I came, and it is one of those that I find very difficult to get nice compositions. It's very difficult to take the whole circle. Having a drone now, maybe go out sometime and try getting the drone. I might be able to get quite a nice picture with the drone. But this, you can see, it was quite a clear evening. So I thought about getting, as you can see, the sun just on the edge of this large stone here, and again using a very small aperture, the f22, getting the starburst effect. So again, it's one I selected as one of my favourites from April, and it's one of my favourites of the stone circle. It'll be somewhere I reasonably regularly go back to try and get different compositions, different light, etc. But this, with the lens stopped right down, as you can see, it's my wide angle, the full wide angle, 16mm. So yeah, that's April, and then from April we move in to May, and again we're back to Derwent Water and sunrise, and on this occasion it was a misty morning, as you can see, and it's a fairly standard, one of the iconic shots here from Crow Park, looking over Derwent Water to Derwent Island here, and then Catbells behind. But with the subtle mist, I just feel it makes a really good shot. I have cropped the picture so it's in 6x19. Is it 6x19? No, sorry, 9x16 effect. I just feel it presents the picture better. It will be on the tripod, 20th of a second, f11, 100 ISO, and it's just, I just think it's a really nice subtle picture of our local lake Derwent Water on a slightly misty early morning shot looking to Catbells. Alright, so that's May. And then from May we move on to June. And again we have a handheld picture here. I just really like this one. I mean, I've composed it with a bit of foreground interest here, this slightly rocky ground, then looking down the valley back to the Langdales. The old dungeon Ghyll is round here somewhere, and according to my notes here, this is Mickleden, down to the old dungeon Ghyll. Now this is while I was doing the Cumbria Way. In June, I spent 5 days doing the Cumbria Way in training and preparation of going to Greenland to do the Arctic Circle trek. Unfortunately, with COVID, etc., the trek never took place. It's been postponed to later, to August this year, so all being well, we'll be going August this year, and hopefully we'll get some really good shots in Greenland. I'll need to train up again, but I suppose this picture just sums up the Lake District. You've got the green valleys, the mountains. It's I don't think we can see any sheep. Normally there's sheep somewhere, but not today. Yeah, so it was shot at f11, 100 ISO and a 40th of a second. Again, a handheld shot, and it just sums up the Lake District to me. It's a very nice shot. So that's halfway through, so that's June. Right, thank you for watching the video. Unfortunately, due to time restraints, I've only actually managed to get through 6 of the 12. Otherwise it would have been a very long video. But if you've watched to this point, thank you very much. If you're interested in my photography, please subscribe to the channel, as I'm aiming to put out weekly videos, mainly out and about actually taking the pictures. I may actually do a second video showing talking about the remaining 6 images, because it's just going to be far too long to do all 12. I wasn't quite sure how long it would take. Anyway, if you've watched this far, thank you for watching. If you like it, please click the thumbs up, and if you're interested, please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.